Welcome back to Tipsy Whiskey Shenanigans. I'm Steven, and tonight, whenever the heck you're watching this, we are getting into budget bangers. Bang for your buck budget bottles. But before we get into this, please do me that favor. Like, comment, subscribe. Helps us out a ton, and we seriously appreciate the support. But let's get into today's video. So today I'm talking about budget bangers, bottles of whiskey that are freaking phenomenal for their price point. And obviously every single subsection of whiskey, for this video specifically, I'm sticking just to American whiskey because that's kind of my niche, that's where I like. But every single subsection of whiskey is going to have a different price for what I would consider a good budget bottle or whatever you would consider. So to kick it right off with, we're going to start with bourbon, kind of the fan favorite, and my three favorite budget banger bourbons. Elijah Craig, small batch. I don't see how a lot of people don't love this. Like, this is honestly not as accepted as like one of the greatest budget bottles of all time for some reason, because I think this is the most stereotypical awesome budget bourbon. $25, 94 proof, so it has a little bit more proof than your average 90 proof bourbon, but it's not quite up to that 100 proof length. And $25 for just like the most easy crushable bourbon ever. It has everything you want to expect in a bourbon and more. Honestly, this is my personal favorite of all of these budget bourbons, just because, man, I just love the Elijah Craig. It's a little bit nuttier than a traditional bourbon. Super sweet. Really, really enjoy that. And as you know, probably by now, I'm a huge Elijah Craig fanboy, so take that as you will. And up next, a bottle that's a little bit newer to me, but I'm really, really enjoying it. And it is probably the best $30 you can spend in bourbon. Cooper's Craft Reserve. This is fantastic. This is a brown Foreman banger. This is the exact definition of a budget banger. Yes, $30 is kind of the tip top of like the budget bourbon category, but the quality of whiskey you get out of this $30 is like equivalent to what other companies are bringing to the table for like $50. Like, honestly, I could put this up against a lot of other kind of like $50, maybe even $60, 100 or sub 100 proof bourbons, and I would expect this to clap their cheeks. This is probably the best sub $30 bourbon out there. I love it. Brown Foreman, you have banana fostery, you know, vanilla ice cream, tinge of nuttiness, and kind of a replacement for this, or a shoe-in if you can't find this, is going to be that Old Forester Orange Label Screw Top. I don't currently have one, that's why it's not on this list, but that's kind of a replacement for that because that's not completely everywhere. Like, I'm being honest, I can't get that in my area, but if you can get that, if not, I would say the Old Forester Orange Screw Top is kind of, it's similar. It's about $20 in my area, but it's not quite as good as that Cooper's Craft. And then after that one, last one on the bourbon, Wild Turkey 101. You saw this coming. I freaking love Wild Turkey 101. And I'll be honest, this one gets some insane budget points all the way, because like this is the only one I can get in my area out of these that's sub $20. I repeat, sub 20. I know not everywhere that is the case, you know, not everywhere you can get this for sub 20, but in my area currently, at least, I am still currently getting Wild Turkey 101 for $19.99. So fantastic deal, and I love that like Wild Turkey flavor profile. I just recently did a rare breed, you know, video, and I was like, man, I love this whole, it's that cherry pie, cinnamon, this sweet like vanilla whipped cream type thing going on. It's like creamy vanilla, that nice, really, really lots of cherry, a little bit of nuttiness, and that cinnamon. That cinnamon is fantastic. Like, very spicy for a bourbon, and I really, really enjoy that. And now transferring over to some ryes. What are the budget bangers for rye? My personal favorite, Old Forester 100 proof rye. This is this is freaking good. And what I will say is that this is a different kind of mash bill than your traditional rye. Like a lot of ryes out there are MGP rye, 95.5 rye. This one has a lot of malt in the mash bill, so it goes on that kind of malty spice side. So there's a nice bit of like that malty, borderline chocolatiness with some nice little bit of like that rye spice, as well as that traditional brown Foreman banana. At least I get that. I mean, it could be me just having a bias and seeing Old Forester and thinking banana, but when I drink it, I get this banana, this red fruit, some nice baking spices, some pepperiness, and then that nice maltiness. I really enjoy that. And up next, we're bringing in the last rye on this list, cranking our price point up to $35 because rye is a little bit more expensive traditionally, at least for a good one. And also kind of throwing in a wrench into this whole mix. Redwood Empire Emerald Giant. Redwood Empire is one of my favorite budget brands out there. And subsequently, the next one on this list, also another Redwood Empire, but we'll get to that in a sec. This one is going to be their rye. So this is a blend of MGP rye as well as their own product. And this is fantastic. It's minty, sweet, has some citrus notes in it. It's on the younger side of rye, so you're gonna get those more like herbal, bright, kind of shinier ones. But I really, really like this. I think this is like the best budget rye that's more in that rye category, because the Old Forester rye is not super rye dominant, but that Redwood Empire, it's super bright, herbal, minty. Like it has all those really bright kind of classic rye notes, but even more. And then, like I mentioned previously, Lost Monarch. This is their Burr rye, and this is probably my favorite go-to budget bottle. I've consumed quite a few of these. I think it really has a solid balance of kind of that like bourbon-y sweetness, that like cherry side, and then that minty kind of herbal side going on from the Emerald Giant. I think that's probably the most balanced American whiskey product for like a daily drinker. So if you can find Lost Monarch, I think that is the best budget banger out there. And then after that, since we're kind of going along the lines of blended products, we're gonna bring in one that I really love, Jack Daniel's Triple Mash. You all know I love single malts. This is not a single malt, obviously. It's a triple mash bill. This is their Tennessee whiskey, bourbon, their rye whiskey, and their malt all blended together to create a funky, weird roller coaster. And this is the $35 budget banger I'm going to when I'm looking for a weird one. Like, it's been a weird day and there's not quite any whiskey that like you can really match. This is the only one that's going to compete. And this one it goes well with almost every single category because it pulls out one like type of flavor from every single thing. Again, weird, different, but it's also fun. I mean, I don't like drinking all the same stuff. It's like malty, kind of almost chocolatey, and then it has this like spicy pepperiness, and then this insane sweetness, and it's like nice like red fruit note. It's weird. It's all over the place. It does some weird turns and stuff, but for $35, it is a super, super interesting, fun pour to just like really get into. And last on this list, but definitely not least, honestly, this is close to that Lost Monarch because, like I said, I'm a single malt fanboy. Balcones Lineage, the one Texas bottle on this list, and the one American single malt. So I don't know what Balcones is doing to this product, but this is probably like one of my favorite sub $30, $35 pours out there. Like this is incredible. I just don't get it. It's stone fruity. It's heavy on that stone fruit, like very peachy American single malt, which is something I get off of a lot of their single malts, especially like the cash strength ones. But this is really good. Nice like fruit leather, stone fruitiness. Honestly, like probably one of the better American single malts, especially for less than probably like $75, which is insane because it's a third of that price point basically. Not really. It's more like 2/5, but math was never my strong suit. Either which way, these were my budget bangers. I love all of these. I think all of these have really, really good value and are bringing something fun and interesting for kind of a cheaper price point, which you can't say that about every bottle out there. So I'm a huge fan of all of these products. Do me that favor, like, comment, and subscribe on this video. Let me know down below, what are your kind of go-to budget bangers? What are the bottles you're going to when you're looking for a really, really good budget bottle? Or what's kind of your go-to budget daily drinker that just knocks it out of this park? Let me know down below. Also, check out the Facebook, Instagram, and the Patreon. Links for all that stuff are down there below as well. That's a wrap for this video. Cheers, y'all. We'll see you later.